Hi, my name is Michael St. Amy. If you happen to enjoy this video and you're new to the channel, I would like to invite you to subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a like and a comment. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's live. As the thumbnail states, this live is about the video that I just did on my MEGA MFT SQUARE. As you guys know, I made a big Alfie table slash MFT table in a workshop, and a typical square was not really feasible for squaring it. So I came up with this concept with a CNC machine. It's made out of Baltic birch, and it's unique in the sense that, let me change the camera angle. Is unique in a sense that rather than making a continuous flat surface, I got these little, let's call them nibs, on two sides. I'll show you it again, last point. And the reason for that, is I wanted to have single point of contact on the fence, 2 points of contacts on the fence and 2 points of contacts on the guide rail to make it easier to square. Because in case you don't know, the guide rails are not perfect. In the case of mine, I find this to be true for all of them, the shorter one and even my longest one. It has a little bow in it. A bow on the back, so it'll be a crown on the cut side. It's just a couple thousands of inches, but it's there. So I just wanted those points of contact in case it wasn't perfectly square. In the video, you saw me using a feeler gauge, and the rationale for the feeler gauge is if I make a cut and it's out, I could determine how much it's out by and make the adjustment. Let's say it was out by 0.003 of an inch and I need my guide rail to go in. Well, what I could do is I could put the feeler gauge on the top and rest it against the top and rest the bare fence against the guide rail on the bottom. That would have created my 0.003 of an inch spacer, and then I can lock the whole thing down, and at that point it would be square. I hope you're following what I'm saying. So that was the logic behind of it. And if you notice, I'm gonna go ahead and show footage from the video, just in case you're an individual that didn't see the video. So I'll do that in a minute. But in a video, I have stops, and that's the reason for the stops. Because once I get it square, the guide rail square, I want to be able to lock that position and be able to return it when I break that system down. Because as I stated earlier, the MFT table in my case is also my outfeed table. So the fence will be in the way if I'm using a table saw. The guide rail would be in the way when I'm using a table saw. So I needed a way I could take everything down and put everything back and not having to use this every single time. Using the dashboard track stars. 1 second. I'm back. In case there's anybody out there that don't know what the track stars are, let me take this off. I use the track stars for my fence and for the in-feed side of the guide rail connection. And what I like about them is in a shop, they're all aluminum. This is the original model that uses Baltic birch, but it works the same. But this is pretty tight tolerance. So I'm telling you that for the reason, when I remove my fence and I place my fence back in, it registers back in its original location. So I don't have to fidget with that once I get it set. So I did the stops for the rails and square the rail to the fence using the square, and the stops is for my repeatability. So as I said, so I don't have to be going back to this every single time. I like it. It's working for me. I'm actually considering offering it for sale. Actually, I'm going to offer it for sale. But one of my concern is its size and shipping. And I don't think it needs to be this big, because I think most people is going to have a MFT table that is the standard size MFT table. And this is too big for the standard. Well, it would work with an MFT standard size MFT table, but it doesn't have to be this big for the standard MFT table, or even for dashboard or similar type table. The reason why I needed one this big is because, again, I'm using a large assembly table slash outfeed table slash MFT table. Some things I'm considering doing different is the hi Al, is the lasering. Either I'm gonna go over it twice to make it darker, or else, let me show it to you guys. Either I'm gonna go over it twice to make it darker, or else I'm considering using a V-carve bit and carve my logo and the text into it. Just some stuff that I'm playing with. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and I'm gonna talk over it. Here you get to see me use that mat that I showed you guys recently. That works real well for me. It increased my vacuum hold down. I'm opening up the 3 zones for the vacuum because I have a sheet long enough to use all 3 zones. I'm still impressed with that mat, by the way. The grip mat, it works real well. I'm using a 1/4-inch compression bit, and I only needed 1 bit. And with my machine, I could do this in 3 passes using a 1/4-inch bit to get the full bit. I know how. That's why I said most people's gonna have a standard size MFT table, so I'm gonna make a smaller version. This one is specifically for my situation, because my outfeed table, my version of an MFT table is a whole lot larger than a standard MFT table. So anything I produce for sale is gonna be smaller than this. It is. And all of this footage is in real time. Nothing is sped up. It's cutting this in real time. And I actually use it to cut too, but in the video, I'm only showing one. And again, I'm not using any tabbing. Everything is being held down with vacuum. I'm really happy with the mat that I purchased. Right? I showed you guys a couple videos ago. I just, well, you know, we're talking. Yeah, I'm familiar with the product that you sell out. But as I was stating, what I like about this is the minimum contact point. So if you needed to correct any error, it's easy to correct error with this using feeler gauges. There you can see me doing the engraving with laser. That was quick work too because I just did an outline. But as I said, it could have been a little bit darker. All of this again, guys, is in real time. Nothing is speed up. And at any point, this is the discussion, so at any point, if you have any questions, please let me know. So you can see it right here. Now I do plan for my setup, I'm gonna put threaded slots in the table, and I'm gonna have bolts come up so where I can tighten it and keep it in place, because I don't have holes like a standard MFT table. And again, you know, CNC has tolerance, the miter gauge, sorry, the guide rail has tolerance. So if for whatever reason, if it was off a couple thousandths of an inch, using the feeler gauges, and I'll show you guys that in real time one of these days, how you can make the adjustment to get it perfect. And here are the stops I'm telling you about. Once it's squared, I can get it right back to that same position after I break down my setup whenever I need to put it back. So basically that's it. Again, I will make a smaller version of it available for sale. because you don't need one this big for standard MFT table. See, it's a big boy. Any questions? You know what? I forgot the exact size. And no, it's not equal size. It's actually 41 by, if you're referring to the triangle, by 28. If I was doing it for MFT table, it probably would have stopped right about here. So that's, so you give you an idea about how big it would be. It wouldn't be this big. So again, if you have, yes, okay. Again, Al, it was, what you see in here is for my situation. I have a very large table. I have a very large outfeed table. My outfeed table is the length for my table saw, and it's, how much this is? I'll tell you, this give you a good idea about how deep it is. So this doesn't go all the way to the end. Oh, so my table is about the width of my table saw, which I think is somewhere around 60 inches, the whole length. And the width is about the same width as the square. It's about 41 inches, 42 inches, somewhere around there. Yeah, I always wanted something that big. Main reason why I want an MFT table that big is basically for, I mean, I could use it for anything. I like the idea of being able to use the line boring jig, the LR32. I also like the idea of being able to do the largest upper cabinet I could possibly put on it, which would be, I think I came up with about 40 inches I could pull off on this. And what else? There was another reason too. There was another rationale for my outfeed table being that. Oh, plus the fact is, I wanted it to be deep enough to support any offcuts coming off of my table saw, and it's also an assembly table. So for on larger projects, like for example, assembling a cabinet, upper or lower, I can do it on top of that work surface. They're a lot of help. I used to have a different system where I used to have a fold up and collapsible type outfeed table on the back of my table saw. But that's all I could use it for. It was too small to use as a assembly table. This current one is the best situation that I have. And I'm gonna do a video on it. I did a video on it before a live stream, but that's when I was just trying to figure out live stream, and it wasn't a very good presentation. I had a lot of problem with the video work back then. So I'm gonna do a video, actually pre-produce a video on the assembly table. I have a couple of other ideas too. I have another jig that I'm going to be showing coming up that solves another problem for me that I think some people might be interested in. That I'm going to show coming up real soon. I'm very familiar with our product, Al. Matter of fact, I intend on getting a job site table saw, and my intention is to get that same table. I'm very familiar with it. As far as pricing, I haven't figured that out yet. So it's out of Baltic birch. That's all I'm gonna say. Baltic birch, but I mean, it's nice plywood. I wish I could build everything out of Baltic birch. And I have a source for it now, so that's pretty reasonable, all things considered. So Al, if you can see this, give me your opinion. Laser or V-carve? Or both? That's exactly what I was looking at. Something like a DeWalt, the small portable one. And I get what you're saying, Al. That's why. That's one of the reasons why I know I got to make this smaller. Yes, I agree. I had already considered that, doing a fill. I just didn't want to take it forever. If I do it as a fill, I'm going to make this significantly smaller, probably more like that. Well, you can't see it. Rather than like this, I'm probably going to make it more like that. So I'll make it significantly smaller so I could do it as a fill so it will show up better. I agree with you. Seven watt. And of course, you know that's peak power. 7 watts. It's not a very powerful laser, but I got it just for what you just saw right there, for me to put my make a mark on it. At some point, I'm going to get a dedicated laser. But it's 7 watts. I know they got 15 watts now. But I would want a CO2 type laser at some point. The V-carve do look good though. I must say that. But I see exactly what you're saying. It can get filled with dust. Well, another thing concerning the size, at some point, let me switch it over to the top. Let me move this out of the way. At some point, sooner than later, because I present for my MFT, but this MFT is actually going to be a job site tool for me. It's never going back into the shop. It's going to be a job site tool for me, and I have a set of dashboard equipment to go on this. I do plan on changing this from MDF top to a Baltic birch. So I do intend on offering this for individuals that do want a Baltic birch top as compared to the as an alternative to the MDF top. So, and that's significantly bigger than the square. So if I could figure out how to ship this, a smaller version of the square, to work on a MFT table should be doable. Show something else. I don't have it here with me. Okay, let me put it up here so everybody can see it. I really need a second monitor close to me so I can read the comments. When you see me looking off, or you see me, looking deep in one direction, it's just because that's where my monitor is and I'm reading the comments. Move this down. Great idea. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Al. That's a good idea. Oh, I appreciate it, Al, but I'm the one that designed it. So I have full control over the size. I just chose to make it. It was the first time I was doing it, and I wanted it to show up in the video, so that's the reason why I made it that large. but I appreciate it. That's why it's called a mega square. It's so big. It's mega. I used to use a woodpecker square, but it don't lay flat, and it's super expensive. So, and it makes contact throughout its whole length. And as I told you, the um, the guide rail is not straight. No, I truly appreciate it. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, um, I really do appreciate it. Yeah, if I had it, if somebody had designed it for me and I had no way of controlling the size, then yeah, I would take you up on that. But this is actually, I designed it in a vector program, so I can scale it any size without losing any quality. By the way, Al, I need to get with you. Let me know if tomorrow, um, if you're busy or not. Any more questions? Checking to see if anything popped up in the comments. I really need to. I need a monitor, like, no, not right there. It'll be in front of the camera, like right off to my side, like that. That would be perfect. It's hard fighting to see the comments. But anyway, thanks for watching the video as usual. And I know that, we live our busy lives, and most of y'all already seen the video. But again, thanks for watching the live video. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching the video, and be safe in the shop.